Hello everyone, and welcome to my draft analysis for the Great Lake Draft League in the Erie Division. My team is the West Coast Braviaries, which is a super interesting team I've created because a lot of people might think that I may be referring to the American West Coast, but I'm actually referring to the West Coast of Australia, and it's based off the team that I support. So I'm really happy to bring you this team because I'm really confident in how the team looks and how it performs. This is my first draft league as a whole, so I'm really excited to get into this league, which the season starts next week. My week 1 opponent has a really good team and I'm really excited to play them. But this is about my team, and I will go on to my pre-draft plans. So we had the first pick in the draft, so we had the reliable way of building around our first pick. We knew what our first pick was going to be weeks before the draft even started. I personally play hyper offensively, so I drafted in a specific way. I looked at mons I could put my P core that I was going to build my first couple of picks by a TR, Taunt, Tailwind, those type of stuff. I was going to look for value in tier 3 and tier 5 ifs, tier 3s, tier 5s, and I was also going to look for some comfort picks, Pokemon I have used in the past that I know I'm comfortable with, and I know I can roughly use them. Our first pick was Dragapult. Very straightforward, it's blisteringly fast, it hits very hard physically, and it can be run specially. Its support move pool is insanely good as well. Things like Will-O-Wisp, Light Screen, Reflect, Ally Switch. Everyone loves a good Ally Switcher. Picking Dragapult pick 1 enabled me to lead my draft in so many different ways. I could run Dragapult, Dragapult beat up with the Source of Justice. I could run Dragapult plus the Redirector, and they would all do super well. And Clear Body is just an insanely helpful ability to have on a big offensive threat. I'm not saying that other abilities are completely useless on Dragapult, because Infiltrator can be used, but in draft, Clear Body is just so good to have. With our second pick, we had to wait a very long time, so I was really hoping this thing came back to me because it was going to be my big Pokemon, Terrakion. Terrapult is a really strong core which got usage in VCG. I think it was Series 5 when it first came out. Terrapult was insane. It was also Terracot as well. I didn't really like Whimsicott as picking tier 1, so I picked Dragapult because Dragapult's a lot more versatile than Whimsicott. On 50, it's a 50-50 turn 1 lead. Terrapult, you don't know what's going to max, and you have to respect both Pokemon. Physically, it's super strong, 129 base attack. It has also really good bulk in max. It's not easy to take out. And by the time it got back to us, other options like Colossal and the Redirectors had been drafted to other teams. So Terrakion was the next logical solution to it. And I'm happy that I got this Pokemon because it's just a massive threat that my opponents have to prepare for every week. Our third pick on the wheel, so it's our third pick, and it was on the wheel. We grabbed Gyarados. Gyarados offers an Intimidate support to the team. Moxie is also a great ability for this thing to have because it has two abilities that people need to prepare for. Is it an Intimidate dose? Is it a Moxie dose? You don't know. And if you prepare wrong, it could sweep you. It's very good synergy with Terrakion in terms of a reliable switch into many attacks that Terrakion is weak to. And it has really good coverage, which can as well be run with a fair few different items, and Special Gyarados isn't exactly a bad option either. Yes, Space 60 special attack isn't exactly what you want for a special attacker, but it's not horrible. You can run it specially and still do alright with it. But I'm excited to use Gyarados because the Pokemon hasn't seen a lot of usage since early VCG 2020. Because then it just sharply dropped off, of course, with things like Regieleki coming into the format. Our fourth pick was Gardevoir, and Gardevoir provides one thing we wanted from our previous trick list: Trick Rooms and Imprison. I more knew the way I was going to start drafting. I knew I wasn't probably going to have a strong Trick Room mode, so I thought I need a Trick Roomer, but I need something that can get them prison. And I looked through some of the Pokemon and I thought Gardevoir is really good because it can also be a very good offensive threat. Um, the good, its move pool in terms of support and offensive moves is very good and very deep. And it's just insane value for a tier 3 pick. It's tiered correctly in tier 3, but it's insane value for tier 3. It also gives me fairy typing as well, which is really good for when I want to build when I'm building my fantasy core. For our 5th pick, we grabbed Rotom Mo as a tier 3. I could have grabbed Rotom Wash instead of Gyarados as my 2nd pick, but I wanted Rotom Mo, so I didn't grab Rotom Wash. I wanted Rotom Mo because it was an electric type that isn't with the ground, and it's an electric type that actually pressures the ground types. Yeah, Rotom Wash is the same thing, but Rotom Mo is a tier 3 pick. Rotom Wash is a tier 2 pick, which means I'm actually using a little bit extra value out of this pick. It can be run offensively, it can also be run supportively. When maxed, like every other Rotom form, it is very, very bulky with 50 and 107 in both defenses. It is also another good switch in for attacks going into Terrakion or Gyarados because it really resists most of the attacks that those Pokemon will be facing down or take them really well. It also gets things like Alice Witch, Will-O-Wisp, Trick, and Drill Screen, so it's actually a really solid pick, and I really like this pick as a tier 3. Our 6th pick in the draft was Rhydon. Yes, it says Sandaconda. Why does it say Sandaconda? It's because we did a transaction from Rhydon to Sandaconda, which will take place after the 1st week. This Pokemon, same we said, Rhydon, it offers a ground support. Rhydon just gave us Lightning Rod, but I went with Sandaconda ultimately because Sandaconda lessens the Violet competition on this team, which we'll get because we have a few very good Violet Pokemon deeper into the draft. The G-Max effect is extremely good. Like you've seen things like Colossal, Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise get high usage because of their G-Max effect being really, really solid of offering chip damage. Yes, it's not as much as their effects, the effects they have, but it's still chip damage nonetheless, which is really good. Has 3 really good abilities, Sandveil, Sandspit, and Jetkin, all good. The comfort pick, I have used Sandaconda in the past, I have people who have used Sandaconda, so they basically know how to really run it, and it completes the Electric Ground and Flying Core for our team, which is a pretty alright core to try and complete. This team has all 4 type cores of Electric, Ground, Flying, Dark, Psychic, and Fighting, and the Fantasy and Starter cores as well. Okay, I'm happy with the grabbing of Sandaconda. Magmortar. This is the Pokemon I went into the draft thinking, I don't think I really want this Pokemon, but I looked on Cerebi and I'm like, is this thing actually good? And I saw it has a wide range of coverage moves, which is actually a really good Pokemon, really thing you want from your lower tier. It has a very good stat in 125. It completes the Fire, Water, Grass core with the team with Magmortar, Rotom-Mow, and Magmortar. It's a good value tier 4 pick. The only good other option for a fire type in tier 4 was Turtonator. I wasn't exactly going to grab Turtonator. I could have grabbed Flareon on tier 5, but I had ideas of what I want in tier 5 already, so I didn't know what I wanted to do in this tier 4 slot, so I grabbed Magmortar to fill that slot, and I think it can put in a lot of work on this team. And I can't really wait to use it. Vital Spirit as well is a good ability as well for it to have against Flame Body as well. So it's got some good abilities, got some good coverage, hits hard, I like it. Our 8th pick in the draft was Fletchinder. Fletchinder was running on here because we wanted a Tailwinder. I didn't know what I really wanted as a Tailwinder, and I thought, hold on, Fletchinder's in tier 5, it's insanely good value. Like, I see this thing should have been a tier 4. Because Priority Tailwind is just so good. And putting it in tier 5 has made it one of the best tier 5 options in my opinion. Other people might say super Pokemon like Saw, Hitmonchan are more valuable, but I see Fletchinder as being more valuable. It has some very good supporting coverage. I think it gets things like Endeavor, Roost, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Growl. It's a very good Pokemon, and Tailwind is one of the big things that sold me on it. It's fast as well at 84 base speed, so it's not exactly a slow Tailwind setter. And the backup pick to this was Fletchling, so you can start to see how much I valued getting priority Tailwind on this team. With our 9th pick, we grabbed Tangela. Very straightforward why I drafted this Pokemon. Rage Powder Redirection, it gets utility moves, like for example you can run Knockoff, you can run Sleep Powder, you can run Stun Spore. It hits hard at base 100 special attack as well, so I could potentially run it with Magmortar and go Chlorophyll Tangela if I really want to. Extremely bulky with the Eviolite. This is probably where the Eviolite will be most weeks. So kind of revealed a tactic there, but that's probably where it would be most weeks, either there or literally. It helps several ones are setting up. Like for example, it helps Dragapult out, it helps Gyarados out, it helps Rotom out, and it just really gives the team a bit of bulk behind it as well. Because if a Pokemon is switched on a grass type attack, Tangela can absolutely do that. It gets good coverage moves as well. It gets things like Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Knockoff, Endeavor as well, surprisingly. So I could run Sash Tangela with that. So I like it a lot. With our 10th pick, and I'm really surprised this Pokemon made it so far, it's Bisharp. Bisharp is a really solid mon. It's also a comfort pick because I have used Bisharp before. And Defiance is such a great ability to have on this team. The Steel typing completes the Fantasy Core with Dragapult Gardevoir. 125 base attack plus Defiant is just insane. Because if you get the Bisharp the +2 with a Defiant proc, this thing is going to do insane damage to opponents. It also gets Inner Focus, so I could run Inner Focus Bisharp if I really want to, but it will most likely be running Defiant. But Inner Focus is there, and it has good synergy with Dragapult. I looked for a Pokemon that could actually have good synergy with Dragapult, and I came to 2 Pokemon, either Bisharp or Obstagoon. What made me pick Bisharp over Obstagoon was Bisharp Steel typing ultimately, and overall having a much higher attack stat. Even though Obstagoon has higher overall speed, Bisharp is a solid pick for this team. And my last pick was Walrein. Walrein is a super bulky water ice type, not ash type. Can set up with Belly Drum or can use its bulk to support the team. It patches up a big ice weakness I had in the team while I was drafting, and I felt my last pick should be something that it can switch in on ice type attacks, is what I was thinking, and Walrein absolutely can do that. With Thick Fat, you get Oblivious, which is insane, and it's just a very good sleeper pick. I think this Pokemon is also under tiered, in my opinion. I think this Pokemon should not be in tier 5, it should be in tier 4 like Fletchinder, and I've really capitalized on my tier 5s, being Pokemon I rate as being really high, tier-wise, that they should have been ranked a lot higher. And this is the final team in order. We're going to do, it'll be Dragapult, Terrakion, Gyarados, Gardevoir, Rotom, Sandaconda, Magmortar, Fletchinder, Tangela, Bisharp, and Walrein. Super solid team. I like this team a lot. The season starts next week. I will unfortunately not be able to record probably my first couple of weeks of games. But I think my first 2 opponents will be recording the sets. So overall, very solid team. I like this team a lot. And I think I could do really well with it. So thank you guys for watching the analysis, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be looking at the Erie Division coaches and making a tier list on each of their teams. So I'll see you then.